Hi, my name is Cooper-Maysami, and today I'll be presenting to all of you how to find sources for a research question using the specific example, how do movies and television impact culture? Now to begin with, a good starting point is OneSearch. Now OneSearch is a very good tool for research if you know how to use it properly. First of all, let's go over to this search bar and start putting in some keywords that will help direct us on our search for sources for this topic. We can do impact, we can do movies, and also we can do television. We can do media, and I think we'll add in culture. Now that's a good start, but with the benefit of hindsight, I know that when researching this topic, we will start to come up with results that pertain to consumer culture and marketing and businesses practices. That's not really what we're looking for in this case, so what we can do is employ the use of some Boolean operators to help steer us in the right direction. First of all, I will put in, to be more specific, popular culture, and putting it in quotation marks like this ensures that it will search for the phrase popular culture rather than just popular and culture separately. In addition, I can say not consumer culture and not marketing. Those nots will exclude everything that we tell it to, making sure that our search only includes what we want it to include. If we hit enter, here we have a bunch of results. As you can see, a lot of them, well, all of them here are books. Now, books can be a good source, right? There's nothing wrong with books, but they're not really what I'm looking for right now. So in order to prevent all these books from popping up, I'll go over here to the side. Clicking this will ensure that I only get articles in my search results, and clicking here will ensure that I only get peer-reviewed articles. Peer-reviewed means that the author of the article submitted their article so that it could be reviewed by other experts in the field and edited to ensure that it's more accurate. So we can apply these filters. And one last thing before we look through our results, I'm going to go down here to creation date. 1960 to 2021 is a broad range, but I'm kind of looking for something a bit more modern than that. So I'm going to change this 1960 to 2000. Once I hit refine, here we have our final search results. Scrolling through these, you can begin to see some, like this one, they have a bit more of a positive connotation towards movies and television's influence, while stuff like this one, you see it talks about negative stereotypes, that has a bit more of a negative connotation. And that's a good time to point out that all sources, no matter how hard they try to be neutral, will have some sort of bias towards them. Now, obviously, some will very clearly pick a stance and have bias, but it's important to keep in mind that while looking for a source, you should take into consideration the bias of an author in order to make sure that their writing is more valid to what you're trying to research and talk about. Now, if I scroll back up, I do like this one when it talks about a Netflix show called Sex Education and what effect it has on queer teens' identities. I think that could be a good direction to go in our topic. And in addition, I would like to roll with this idea of Netflix and streaming services as we move along. I think that could be a good way to hone down this broad topic of movies and television to just Netflix and streaming services. I think that's a good direction to go in. Before we move on, I would like to take this source and cite it as we go along, just so you can see that. So if we go over here to our works cited page, first of all, we're going to have to cite this in APA style, and a journal article is cited as follows. You'll do the author's names in alphabetical order, you'll do the year in parentheses, the title of the article, the title of the periodical, followed by the volume number in italics, the issue number in parentheses, the page numbers, and then the DOI or the URL. If there is no DOI available, you will just put the URL. Okay, let's go back to OneSearch. If we scroll up all the way here to the top, you'll see a button right there that says databases, or databases if you want to. If we click it, here we see a place that we can search for a database. A database is like a mini one search that can help you search for articles in a specific field that you specify. That will help make sure that the articles that you get are more relevant to your subject and that the people writing them have a more credible authority on what you're looking for. So let's go to here, all subjects. Let's scroll down. I think one that applies to our topic well is film and television. Now, with the benefit of hindsight again, I know that this CQ electronic library is really good for what we're trying to accomplish. So let's go here and let's search for some new keywords. Let's do change, culture again. And instead of movies and television, I think that we should do Netflix and a new Boolean operator or streaming service. Now, typing or will ensure that it's broadening out its search range. It has this big Venn diagram and it's searching for both Netflix and streaming services, anything with those two in it. Let's search. And we can scroll through for a bit, read through the synopsises of these, but I think that this one I've seen starts to talk about the new evolving industry of streaming services and how Hollywood is starting to compete with them. I think that's really good for our research topic, so let's go ahead and cite this one. It's another scholarly article, it's another journal article, so it'll be very similar. It's just the author's name, the year, the title of the periodical, the volume number, the issue number, the page numbers, and the link. No DOI available on this one. Okay, now that we have two scholarly articles, I think it's time for us to delve into the realm of popular articles. Now, while scholarly articles are written typically by experts in the field, some of them are peer-reviewed by other experts in the field, popular sources are more meant for general audiences, not necessarily for academics, and their validity, or rather their accuracy, can tend to be a bit more dodgy. But in our case, we are looking for interviews because we're doing a topic in the entertainment world. So interviews tend to be more solid because they are experts in the field, members like directors, cast members, talking on their material. I would hope that they are experts on their material. So I have this article about Breaking Bad, which, if you haven't heard of it, it's a very popular show. And here they start to talk about what happened to the show when it got added to Netflix, how it boosted the show, how big it was on Netflix. I think that's good. And you can see that this is a popular source because it's a lot more flashy, there's a lot more ads on the side. It's more meant for the general audience than academics. So let's take this and let's cite it. It'll be a bit different than the scholarly sources, but still not difficult. So it's the author's name. Instead of the year, it's the date this time in the order of year, month, day, title of the article in italics, the name of the website, and finally the URL of the website that we got it from. That's 3 sources so far. Now, let's say, what's a different show on Netflix that we can delve into? One really popular one is Stranger Things. Stranger Things is this really explosive Netflix original that almost everybody has heard of at this point. So I found this website. It contains a lot of things about Stranger Things. It contains fans talking about what they think of it. It includes a lot of the plot of it. It talks about the characters. This seems promising. But as you look into this website, the wiki of it, you'll learn that the people that can edit this, there is no proof that they have any authority on the show. They are just regular people writing about a show that they like. Their opinions aren't as trustworthy as, say, a cast member or one of the creators of the show. Thus, I think that we can be skipping out on this source. We don't need to include it. Instead, we can move on to this. Now, YouTube isn't something that comes to people's minds when they think of like research sources, but it can actually be a very good source to use. In this case, we have an interview with the 2 directors of Stranger Things, and they are indeed experts on Stranger Things. We can take their word for what it is. So we can go ahead and cite this YouTube source. Yes, you do have to cite YouTube videos. We can go here. It's a bit different, but still not too hard. We'll do the name of the channel, in parentheses the date, again, year, month, day. In italics, the name of the video, and then we have to put in brackets, video, the publisher, in this case YouTube, and then the link to the YouTube video. Okay, four sources, 2 scholarly, 2 popular. Finally, one more show that is undoubtedly extremely popular on Netflix is Squid Game. Here I have a clip from season 1, episode 1 of Squid Game. Now, even though a lot of people have seen it, most people know what it is, it's just a regular episode from a show that most people can go out and watch, it still is important to cite it. A lot of people worked on it, be it directing, acting, editing. A lot of people worked on it, and it's important that we cite their work. And just because I found it here in a YouTube video doesn't mean I can just cite this video. I do have to cite the TV episode itself. So finally, let's go back to our citations page, and let's see. First of all, we have to put the writers and the directors and label them. In this case, the writer and the director happen to be the same person, so we'll just put in parentheses, writer and director. The date, year, month, day, the name of the episode, and in parentheses, what episode it is, season 1, episode 1, in brackets, TV series episode. We have to put in and then the producers, and label them executive producers. We have to put the name of the show in italics. We have to put the name of the distributor, Netflix, and in this case, since it's a streaming service rather than a network channel like AMC or HBO, we'll have to put the URL to the streaming service. And here, now we have gathered and cited 5 different sources of 5 different types. Now for your assignment, this might be enough, but if it's not, you now have the tools to go out there and find more sources that you can deem worthy to be accurate and relevant to your topic, no matter what it happens to be. Thank you for your time.